Everyone wants quick results. We live in a world that celebrates overnight success, the lottery win, the viral video. But what if the moment you gave up was just one step away from everything you ever wanted? This is the story of Mira, a painter who almost threw away her dream until a stranger's small, crumpled note changed her entire life. Mira had loved painting ever since she could hold a brush. It was her escape, her joy. Her very soul poured onto canvas. But years later, the harsh realities of life began to chip away at her passion. Bills piled up, rent was always due, and the rejection letters from galleries felt like a constant, stinging reminder of her perceived failure. She worked long hours part-time at a cafe, reserving her precious, dwindling energy for painting late into the night. But with each new canvas, the weight of expectation grew heavier. Each failed attempt, each unsold piece, whispered a venomous lie in her ear. "You're not good enough." The vibrant colors of her childhood dreams were fading into shades of grayed out. One particularly grim, rainy night, it all became too much. Exhausted, hopeless, and utterly defeated, Mira made a decision. She was done. In a fit of despair, she grabbed one of her favorite paintings, a piece she had poured her heart into, and tore it clean in half. "What's the point?" she muttered to the empty room, her voice cracking. "No one cares anyway." As she walked home, head bowed against the rain, she saw a lone figure under a streetlight, an old cleaner, methodically sweeping the wet sidewalk. He paused, looked at a torn canvas, and his voice, soft and gentle, cut through the sound of the rain. "Miss, do you know what's harder than cleaning the same street every single night? It's doing it when no one notices and still showing up the next day." He offered a kind, knowing smile, handed her a crumpled piece of paper, and then quietly walked away into the night. Back in her small apartment, Mira unfolded the note. The handwriting was simple, the words profound. The 100th step is always the hardest because it's the one right before the view. In that instant, something inside her shifted. A tiny spark flickered back to life in the darkness of her despair. She whispered to herself, her voice filled with a newfound resolve. Maybe I've only reached step 99. From that day forward, Mira made a new promise to herself. Not to become famous, not to sell 1,000,000 paintings, but something much simpler. "I'll paint every single day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. It wasn't about perfection anymore. It was about progress. It was about showing up. Day by day, her small room began to fill with colors again, a beautiful, chaotic collection of finished and unfinished canvases. She took a deep breath and posted her first piece of art online. It got 3 likes. The next day, 7. A week later, 50. The numbers were small, insignificant to the outside world, but to Mira, they were everything. She kept going. Weeks turned into months, and she decided to share her journey, uploading a time-lapse video she titled The 100th Step. She didn't expect anything from it, but overnight, something incredible happened. It went viral. Thousands of people flooded the comments, sharing how her story of perseverance had inspired them to pick up their own dusty dreams and start again. A few weeks later, an email arrived that made her heart stop. A local gallery wanted to feature her painting, a piece she called Rain and Light, in their upcoming exhibition. When she arrived on the opening night, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and disbelief, she froze. There, standing in the center of the room, smiling warmly at her, was the old street cleaner. But he wasn't a cleaner. He was Mr. Aidan Gray, a legendary retired artist who had once owned this very gallery. He walked over to her and said gently, his eyes twinkling, "You see, you didn't need my advice. You just needed to believe in your next step." Tears of gratitude and relief rolled down her cheeks. Mira turned to look at her painting, now shining under the gallery lights, a beacon of hope for all to see. She whispered, realizing the profound truth of her journey. Consistency doesn't always look beautiful. It's messy, it's quiet, and it's often completely unnoticed. But every single step counts. Every brushstroke matters. So, if you're on the verge of quitting, if you feel like your efforts are invisible and pointless, I want you to remember Mira's story. Remember that you might be standing on step 99. Take one more, just one more, because the view you've been working for might be waiting right there on the 100th. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking and subscribing for more content that we hope will inspire you on your own journey. Keep going.